Welcome back, guys, and this is the second episode of my disc pain diary. So I'm just going to run through how things have gone this week for me, training-wise, symptom-wise, and then I got a couple of things to cover in terms of upcoming reviews, what's happening there. So that's quite exciting. So it's been a particularly good week for me this week. I mentioned last week I had quite a few symptoms. I was niggly. My back wasn't particularly great, but this week has been significantly better. So I'm having one of those weeks where I kind of know what it feels like to not have a bad back. So that's been absolutely great. Training wise, some modifications I've made. So the video that went out this week, where I talked about what I train in a week currently, I was a bit apprehensive about putting that one out because I'm not training loads at the moment, and reasons are stated in that video as to why, family and work and such like with another small baby. But yeah, it was received quite well. And I'm getting some good sort of feedback of people actually quite encouraged by the fact that I'm maybe not training absolutely loads and as much as I want, but still actually keeping some benefits and at least maintaining some gains, if not actively chasing loads of muscle development. So that was really positive. I'm really glad I posted it in such honest fashion now. Changes I've made this week. Because I wasn't feeling particularly great to the latter end of last week, I was getting quite a lot of discomfort through most of the day, worse in the mornings as always. But what I mentioned in the video, where I do a weighted vest and sometimes even a kettlebell walk on a Monday and a Wednesday, I didn't do that this week. I wasn't feeling too bad come Monday, but I just had a little bit of a gut feeling that wasn't the best thing to do. Now, those activities for me, again, I'm going to cover in detail in the coming weeks and months as to low risk activities and sort of trying to hedge your bets of doing stuff that don't aggravate you. So those activities aren't particularly high risk for me in terms of flaring up my back usually, but I just had a feeling that maybe it wasn't the best thing to do this week because I was sort of starting to become a little bit better. I wasn't as sore, but I wasn't perfect. I just decided to not do the weighted walk on a Monday and a Wednesday. Still did the hour and 10-minute walk in the morning with Rex, my dog. I just didn't push it and do the weights with it, the weighted vest. Tuesday and Thursday, I did weights resistance as usual. Normal session, felt really good. And yeah, I've had a particularly good week with my back this week, I should say. Yeah, very encouraging. What have I been doing? So I mentioned last week, the first time about taking Kirk. I've been on Kirk for 2 weeks now. So this will be literally day 14, 15 today. I haven't missed a day as yet. There's going to be a full review coming on it. But so far, I think I'm noticing some significant differences. So one of the things I always have, every morning, I feel physically, mechanically stiff. My back doesn't move like I want it to, but then I also get that sort of sore, inflamed, 2, 3, maybe even 4 out of 10 apprehension pain with it. So the similar type of pain to when you sleep when your elbows may be stretched out, or when you sleep in an awkward position in your neck, and it just feels that sort of 20, 30 minutes after, like, oh, you're just getting back to moving properly. That sort of discomfort is the type of inflamey kind of pain that I get in my back most mornings. And that's pretty much gone. Now, it could just be coincidence that I'm having a good week, but the only thing I've done differently really is take Kirk. And even normally when I'm having a good week, I still most mornings will get that inflamed sort of pain. So yeah, interesting to see how the next 2 weeks goes, because I'm going to take it for a month and then feedback. It's been a little bit frustrating in some ways because I've got so many things I want to start testing and product reviewing, but I just don't want to yet because I don't want to influence the results of taking this product so far. So I am going to stick to that. Obviously the testing of things like massages and physical training aids I can do, but I've got quite a few things in the pipeline like SHakti mat, a company called Neurosim have sent me a really cool product. They're the next things that I'm lining up to review, but I'm holding off on those for at least another week so I can give Kirk 3 weeks in isolation. I can really give it a proper product review then. So there will be a full video coming on that, a proper long video review, and I'll start to tease you some little shorts of how I found it coming up. But yeah, good week on my back, modified my training a little bit, and yeah, Kirk seems to be working, so watch this space on that. I will put details in the description as to Kirk's website. You can check it out. If you want to buy some, you can use my clinic discount. That's absolutely fine. With regards to training, quite a few things I want to talk about as well, because this is the exact type of training schedule which I'm doing now, which I would never have done 4-5 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago, to be honest with you, is something I've learned with a bit of maturity, that doing something is always better than nothing. And I think that's probably a motto most of the time is applicable in life, but certainly I feel is applicable to me and my training, okay? So before, when there was any sort of situation, whether it was a niggle, whether it was busy time at life, working away, whatever the topic might be that means I couldn't train as much as I wanted to ideally, when I couldn't hit that 4 times a week, doing the exact perfect sessions I wanted to do, I generally wouldn't train then. And that's just the opposite of what I need for me, my back, my mind, for everything, and probably the opposite to what most people want. So yeah, it's super important, guys. If you're doing something, it's normally better than doing nothing. For me, training isn't just something I do as a hobby. I like it. Going to the gym isn't a chore for me. I enjoy being there. I enjoy doing the session. I enjoy thinking about it. I enjoy seeing people at the gym. So I have to say, it isn't a grind for me. Training is something I really enjoy. But more than that, for me, it's actually mental and physical therapy. It's good for my body and particularly my back when I'm training. When I'm lifting weights, when I'm moving, when I'm stretching, when I'm bending over, when I'm doing all these things that come with weightlifting and training in particular, my back is better. Fact. So the fact that I'm still doing something is massively important for me and my physicality and my low back. Mentally as well, it's a relief for me. I train on my own. I have trained with friends in the past, but generally because of work and when I can train, I train on my own. I quite like that. I'm a bit of a lone wolf in that respect. So it's time out to me. It's time out for the day when I'm just thinking about what I'm doing, when I can have a little process of what's gone on in the week. So yeah, keeping at the gym or keeping at an activity is probably going to be beneficial for most people, but it certainly is me. Because the trap I've fallen into with training in the past as well, like what I said earlier in the video I've done this week, where I maybe didn't push training as much. I didn't do the weighted vest walk on Monday and Wednesday. I think it probably would have been fine. I just learned over the years how to manage my back. And I've learned the hard way. Because again, just touching on before, I would have either have wanted to be training hard, flat out, 4 or 5 times a week, heavy weight, doing full sessions, or nothing. And when I look back, I was never just in that sweet spot in between where I was taking over. I was doing most of sessions. I was doing 3 times a week instead of 4 or 5. I was always all or nothing. And that used to lead me to injury a lot of the time. So probably a lesson to resonate, I would say, is yeah, doing something is massively better than doing nothing. But also, don't fall into the trap that I did for so long. It's because I was so desperate to be normal, to not have back pain, to train hard and be a normal young man that wasn't inhibited. I used to try and push my way through that, thinking that would get me out of that sort of position, but it actually just made it worse. I had more flare-ups, I had more pain, I had less mobility. So I ended up spending more time feeling down and frustrated at my back, less time training, less time playing sport, and more time suffering, I guess. So yeah, I've kind of learned that not pushing myself when I'm not feeling 100% is definitely the way to go. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm shirking out of moving, not weightlifting, not training at all. Far the opposite. I'm actually using my brain. I'm making sure that I'm doing those things more often throughout the course of a year than I'm not. Because it's pointless me pushing really hard and, you know, this low back pain will not stop me. I'll get through this. All these people on YouTube are saying you've got to keep lifting weights with a bad back, which I do agree with. But it's pointless me doing that to a level that's detrimental to my body, and then I'm injured for 6 weeks or I'm not lifting anything. Because that then is pointless, because I pushed hard for 3-4 weeks when maybe I knew better, and then injured for 6 weeks where I do nothing at all. And then it's taken me 2 or 3 weeks to get back into it. And then I'm training really hard again, injuring myself again in a month or 6 weeks, then having 2 or 3 weeks off. And that pattern kept repeating itself. Definitely listen to that, guys. If you're in that cycle, it's better for you to be training at 70, 75%, even 40 or 50% from what I said in the training video in the week, because you can maintain, even if you're not gaining, you can certainly maintain, rather than being flat out for 6 weeks, injured for 4, flat out for 6 weeks, injured for 2, because you're probably going to spend much more time lifting weights, walking, running, doing your gym classes, if you could just sit in that sweet spot and not push yourself too hard, and it's better to be training 48 weeks of the year, 46 weeks of the year at 70% than 25 weeks of the year at 85, 90% and the rest injured and not moving your body at all. So yeah, that's probably a really good take home from that. A couple of other things I wanted to mention. A friend of mine this week asked me, Neil Backman, I'm calling you out on this. He said, hey Ro, I've been watching your videos. Is that Lotus Wheel review you did, is it actually any good, that product then? So first question I asked Neil was, have you watched the long video on Facebook and YouTube? And he said, no, not yet. So he's just watched a little 2-minute clip, asked me about the Lotus Wheel. First thing I'd say is, if you're interested in my opinion on anything fully, watch the long form videos that are going to be posted on everything I review, sort of 10 to 15 minutes long on Facebook and YouTube, because I will go in depth into everything I review, what I honestly think. I will never, and that's an absolute fact, advertise something, promote something, or say something's good if I don't think it's good. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to do that. That isn't the aim of what I'm doing, is to be giving bad press to something. But if I don't think it's good, I don't think it's value for the money, and I don't think it's appropriate, I will say, and I will do that. And that's an absolute guarantee and a promise. Lotus Wheel I thought was excellent. I really liked it. I thought it was really applicable and had a broad spectrum of uses for varying different aspects of personal use, elite use, bit different parts of your body. I thought it was quite a pliable product. So yeah, it gets my endorsement because I like it and because I genuinely think it's good. I'm not going to be going out trying to find products that I dislike on purpose to give bad press. But as I said, if something comes across my path, is sent to me that I don't like, I'll tell you what I don't like about it, and that's an absolute guarantee. In terms of reviews coming up, I mentioned Shakti Mat, I mentioned NeuroSim. We've got lots and lots, probably 15, 20 products in the pipeline for reviews coming up. So stay tuned, lots to come. Good week on my back, which is making me very happy. I'm moving fine. I've got zero sort of discomfort past an hour after getting out of bed. So today's been a really good week. Really good couple of months coming up on the channel. Things are starting to brew nicely, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. So if you're watching this on Facebook, please like and subscribe on YouTube. That will help me more than you can imagine. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much.